Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Podcast. I'm Mark, and as always, I'm joined by Mathew.
Hi.
And Nathan.
Hey up.
How the devil are we?
The devil are we good?
Not
Yeah,
too sure.
just raking in them Black Friday deals. Got myself some more PlayStation Plus, so that's always good.
Mine got took out of my account recently without me realising. Need to turn that auto.
Oh, so you got
off.
slapped with that
I got done in.
£50 bill?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh no, unlucky mate.
Well, anyway, move on. News. Lots to talk about.
Yep.
Well, did either you see the thing? PlayStation 5 got launched in the UK since the last episode, and there was some decent marketing that went along with that. So, do either of you go to Greg's?
Well, not for a long time, but I know of
very
Greg's.
Yeah, so they did the I don't know if either of you saw this, but there was a special PlayStation launch box. So like there was people on the internet who had like this special blue box with
I saw
I'd like so it had like the PlayStation symbols on the front, and they were made out of different baked goods. So there was apparently the ham and egg sandwich triangle.
Yep.
The sugar strand donut circle.
Classic.
A vegan sausage roll cross, and a steak bake square. But then I have to say, when they opened the box, I was so utterly disappointed.
Well, were it two sausage rolls?
Yeah, so you got like a vegan sausage roll and a sausage roll, and like 2 donuts or something.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Put the thing that's on the front of the box in the thing.
Yeah, that's it. Like
I wanted it opened up and to see them symbols.
I want the steak bake. Come on.
Yeah. And the sandwich is just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Annoyed me.
I liked the marketing they did with the London Underground. I thought they had some really good visuals there.
So in Oxford Circus, they changed some of the tube signs.
And
they renamed 4 stations.
Did they? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll see if you can get this. So I'm going to name you the tube station, and you try and tell me what they changed it to. The easy one to begin with. Mile End. What was that changed to?
I don't
Think about
know.
PS5. Come on, this is the easiest one. It's so subtle.
In miles.
Yes, there you go.
Oh,
Miles
right.
End.
Here we go.
Next one was Seven Sisters. What was that changed to? Think of a long-standing PlayStation game.
Crash Bandicoot.
No.
I feel like I saw these as well, but I've just like blanked them from them. They changed 7, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, the 7's still in it.
Oh, 7's still
Basically, they've just stuck the name at the beginning of this station. That's what they've all done.
Summit 7 Sisters.
Right, we're gonna
Just put her out. Yeah, just do it.
It's Gran Turismo 7 Sisters.
Oh my goodness.
This one's quite good. West Ham. What was that changed to? Think about an upcoming PS5 game.
West Astro Boy.
Nope.
West Bug Snacks.
No, come on.
I'm rubbish at
actual game name.
Sack Boy.
No. Think about what's in West Ham.
Bubbles.
No.
Football hooligans.
And I'm ending this. Horizon Forbidden West Ham.
Yeah, would never have got that. Right, just tell us last one.
You like upcoming PS5 game that's like still for PS4.
It's got West in it. Come on.
Come on.
Lancaster Gate. This is final one. Come on, you'll get this one, Nate. Come on.
Would you say Lancaster?
Lancaster Gate.
Pressure on me.
Lancaster Gate. What could possibly fit there? Lancaster Gate.
Wait, no. Ratchet and Clank's.
Yes, go on.
Isn't it?
Ratchet and Lancaster Gate. There you go.
Oh, right. It's a good job you're here, Matt. I never would have got that in a million years.
God, everything come over.
That was more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I thought they'd be straight on them. Anyway, amateurs. Right, so the consoles. There's been a spate of technical issues. I don't know if you've noticed any of these. most notably for the PS5. So someone on Twitter posted well, this was actually quite a positive one, well, for that person anyway, is that they received a disc version in their box for the digital version.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I heard about that, yeah. I heard about it, yeah.
So, I mean, I'd quite like that to happen to me, but, you know. And apparently the serial numbers matched on the boxes and on the console as well, so just something went wrong in the manufacturing process. Another big one has been crashing in rest mode. This has been notable in the Spider-Man remastered game. Apparently, if they put it in the rest mode during playing that game, it crashes the whole system and then prompts you to repair your external hard drive.
Right. Okay.
Oh, dear.
Which is good. Others where the cloud saves are not being syncing correctly. So
yeah, I heard about that one.
So that's the other one has been the dual sense controller has not been charging properly when it's been plugged into the USB port. So it's only done it like a little bit and then never done fully.
Yeah, I think that's when you plug it into the Type A port. I don't think there's any issues with the Type C. From what I've heard, fairly recently they brought an update out that's fixed it. So it should be okay as of now.
People are also quite annoyed at this issue where if you've got both the PS4 and the PS5 version of a game, the PS5 will try and default to getting the PS4 version to play.
Oh, right.
Oh, I heard about that.
Quite irritating.
That was something for the Call of Duty, wasn't it? Black Ops.
Yeah, it was most of the one. And then there was a thing that you mentioned last episode, Nate, in regards to the download queue bug.
Yeah.
So things weren't downloading right. And then other people have just noted like crashes during gameplay. So there's been a lot of issues for the PS5. So I mean that's a risk you take for being an early adopter, I guess. But
well, that's it. You pay
should be better,
£900 for a console, and you have all these issues. It's disgusting.
£900. Were you?
Did you get 900?
Oh, I see. It was, scalpers.
Oh.
But yeah. That's the thing. That's a lot of issues, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a lot of issues.
But Xbox has had their, well, not as many issues, but they have had a few. Not nearly enough as that, but they've had disk drives producing like grinding noises.
Ooh,
which you don't want.
No, definitely.
Especially if you got a disc in, you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it going to burn a ring in my disc? It's like,
yeah, scratch it, break it in half while it's in.
I remember my first PS2 ended up doing that. I had to buy a new one. It was an awful sound.
Yeah, my Xbox 360 periodically did that with games. This was before you could install the game partly onto the system, and eventually it would just kind of slip and then like burn a ring in your disc and then break it. That was bad.
They've also had like drops in Wi-Fi connectivity. I mean, I know a lot of people do wired and that kind of thing, but some people do Wi-Fi. That's because another one's where they just have power issues, where it's just not switched on correctly. So that's the main issues from them. But not good.
Definitely not. I mean, in 2021, when we get these consoles, hopefully we won't have these issues. Yeah.
But I guess is a lot of this down to the current, well, because it's affected the manufacturing process, maybe because of COVID, etc. If everything had been normal, would these technical issues have been sorted out? Would these have happened? Who knows? But
who knows?
At least it makes me feel not slightly as bad as not having them yet.
That's it. Like having the issues makes you feel a bit better about not forking out the money to buy it as yet.
Well, I do feel for everyone because
that's it. Like these consoles, like gold dust at the minute. Let's face it, and people are clambering, spending so much time trying to get their hands on one, and then when they do, they're experiencing these problems. It's not good at all.
Yeah, and particularly as you say, if they got it from a scalper, that's even worse. Is that how would you get around fixing that? Because effectively it's second hand, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from that. Capcom, they had quite an issue in terms of being hacked, and then they had some leakages, didn't they?
Quite a. Don't know how to quite explain. It's like a tsunami, pretty much, of leaks that have come out after the ransom attack that they had recently. So, I mean, looking at the damage that came out, a lot of personal information was stolen. Apparently, just a lot of stuff. You had sales reports, financial information, personal information on current and former employees, as well as, according to this, up to 350,000 items of personal information from customers, business partners, and other employees that were unfortunately compromised and well, hacked and stolen. Really, it wasn't even that it was leaked from the company. It was just someone's gone in, gone. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I mean, it's not good. And I mean, other than that as well, there's just a massive number of, I suppose, gaming knowledge that may or may not have been known at that point as well. Like a lot of upcoming games that they've got.
Yeah, there's like game
List
for like the next 4 years or something, weren't there? Like their roadmap.
Oh yeah,
future games.
for sure.
Anything interesting? Do we know?
Well, I've got a list of the biggest ones that were looked as though they were shown off. So we've got something that's called Resident Evil Outrage, which looked to be set for Q4 in 2021. Going off of another news source that I was looking at, this could potentially be something along the lines of them trying to make a Resident Evil 8 multiplayer game.
Okay.
Outrage. When's it Outbreak?
I've got it here as Outrage. It could be Outbreak.
Because I'm looking at like a screenshot of the actual sheet.
Oh right, okay.
This is Outbreak. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. So.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, well, to play on that, if it was Outbreak, a lot of people would probably be happy because there was a back in 2000, not 2000, back on the PS2 era, there was the Resident Evil Outbreak games, which were their first foray into like a multiplayer Resident Evil, where you got to play like what was it? You got to play like in between the second and third game as these like 8 survivors if needed. Or you got to pick out the 8 survivors, and then you helped each other through Raccoon City as it was falling apart. It had like an original story to it. It was quite interesting. But just to go back on topic, other ones that got revealed was Dragon's Dogma 2, which I think a lot of people have been clamoring for a sequel for, and had no news. Thanks. I'm assuming that was Alexa.
Yeah, that was mine. Sorry, everyone.
I was like, that sounded familiar. Did I just activate mine? Yes, there's that. There's news of Street Fighter 6 coming in 2022, potentially. What looks to be a new Mega Man game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which would be massive for those fans because they've not had anything for years.
It's just been remakes and compilation discs for the last few years for Mega Man.
Yeah. Along with that, there's two. I think there's 2 of these, which might get you a little bit confused. So initially, there's a Resident Evil 4 remake, which looks to be coming out in 2022. There was also another Resident Evil 4. I think that was on the sheet, but for VR, which looks to be like the original Resident Evil 4, but obviously made for VR. Which I'd be absolutely up for playing for. I'd be scared as all hell, but I think that would be kind of cool. Other than that, something called Monster Hunter 6. Not sure what that is. Something called Biohazard Apocalypse, which, I mean, in Japanese, Resident Evil is known as Biohazard. What that could be, I'm not sure. Just a lot of Resident Evil stuff that got shown off. Something called SSF6 in 2023, which I'm assuming is going to be the next upgrade for Street Fighter 6, as they always do. Two remakes for very old franchises that they've not really touched in ages. One for Final Fight, which was the side-scrolling beat 'em up, I suppose
Yep.
you'd call it. And then one called Power Stone, which I'm not familiar with Power Stone. I think it is a fighting game. I know Mr. Austin Creed is massive about Power Stone, I think, of up, up, down, down. So I'm sure he'd be excited. Two others that got shown off is Ultra SF6, which, again, Street Fighter related. And one thing called Resident Evil Hank.
Hunk.
Is it Hunk?
Yeah.
Again, see, like, my news sources must be, like, completely wrong wherever they're doing this.
I'm not sure which one I prefer. Because Resident
They
Evil
both
Hunk.
sound crap.
Well, Hunk is a character in the Resident Evil lore, so it would
Right,
make sense
that would make
to
sense
be
then.
Hunk.
That would make sense.
Although I'd love to see like his like confused cousin Hank coming in and you know,
Hi everybody, my name's Hank, and then just gets bit.
yeah. So they were probably the biggest things that got revealed there, as well as I think I remember there was going to be some other stuff as well outside of that sheet. We got what looks to be an Ace Attorney collection for the PS4 and Switch. And we got PC releases for Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2, along with two projects that aren't known too much about. One is called Shield, which is apparently going to be a multiplayer shooter, but not much else about it. And something else called Guillotine, that was going to be a new IP for the Nintendo Switch. Although I think I saw one source saying that could be something to do with a new, is it Ghouls and Ghosts, I think?
Yeah.
Very old IP for Capcom. Yeah, there's so much that got leaked. I mean, not just kind of new stuff as well. Even just financial stuff. Like there was one document that talked about how Capcom were working with Google to port over Resident Evil 7 and Village to the Stadia. Kind of the financial workings of it. Something like, I think it was something like they're going to get 10 million to do that. Some ridiculous figure.
Yeah.
And then I think not even just that. I think one probably very unfortunate victim to the whole leaks is Resident Evil Village, because there is one document that kind of goes through pretty much the entire plot from start to finish of the whole game. Well, it goes through. There's tiles of I'm assuming like maybe checkpoints or milestones within the game, but they kind of give off what's gonna happen. I mean, I've not read it myself. Yeah.
Stay clear.
Yeah, it's like back when all the Last of Us Part 2 leaks came out. It's just everybody just stay off the internet.
Yeah.
Don't go looking for it, and generally you're not going to find it. So
yeah, but it's I mean, it's not a good day for Capcom, and
I think it's just a really obscure marketing ploy to get us hyped for the next 3 years. And everybody that's got 4 years, and everybody that's got all the information leaked, it's just collateral. That's all.
I know. I always hate seeing this kind of stuff because it was same for like Sony when Sony had their massive hack and everything got leaked about, like, you know, Spider-Man and all the stuff that they were doing. It's just, I hate when stuff like this comes out because it's just, you kind of just.
Can we just leave it alone? And
yeah, you're just taking the mick of like hard work of the people who do work for that company.
This is the problem with the internet now. It's spoiled by surprise things. Because somebody always finds out something, and it always ends up out there. Even if you're not searching for it, it becomes like a trending topic or something.
Yeah,
it'll just be, and suddenly it's just there. You think, oh, why is this trending? You look at it, oh, there you go, spoiled. Anyway. Should we move on to something a bit nicer? Unless there's more stuff you want to talk about that. All right. So Square Enix, they've now made work at home permanent.
Really?
I heard about it, yeah.
Wow.
So as of December the 1st, they will offer a permanent work from home program to all employees. And this isn't purely down to the pandemic. This will go on. This is a long-term strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So even if magically COVID disappears tomorrow, then people still have the choice of working from home.
Yeah.
And they believe it will bolster productivity and improve work-life balance. So in the statement they said the company will designate each employee as either home-based, i.e. working an average of at least 3 days per week from home, or office-based, working an average of at least 3 days per week from the office. In general, all eligible employees will be designated as home-based. Division heads will designate some positions or individual employees as office-based, as dictated by the nature of the work involved. Status changes will be allowed on a monthly basis, depending upon the intensity of an employee's duties. The company expects approximately 80% of employees to be home-based in December, the first month of the program's implementation. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's especially in places like Japan, because if you know anything about Japanese work culture, it's horrendous.
Yeah,
they work long hours, and yeah, any chance they could get to work from home would probably be a positive thing.
I mean, that's it. I mean, they claw that time back that they would have got commuting.
Yeah.
So that could be up to a couple of hours a day just there.
Yeah, it's known for that Japanese employees like sleep a lot on public transport as well, because they just work so long.
Yeah.
So if you can cut out like the 2-hour round trip, or maybe even longer, of commuting to work, then that's a good thing, sure. But
definitely.
How will that affect the quality of games? I'm not quite sure.
Well, I don't think it will, because if they've got everything in place properly and they're using a cloud environment where everyone can collaborate, then I don't think it will.
Clearly, they must have thought about it long enough, otherwise they wouldn't have done it, I imagine.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. Well, we're just coming into the 9th month of having to live like this, like working from home, in terms of like people that aren't kind of frontline workers. So I think they've had enough time to iron out all the creases, and now they're going forward with this. So I think it's positive, definitely. I mean, long term, if they do end up carrying on like this, then they could potentially shut some offices down, so they save money on that side of things. And again, it's good PR with the staff members and developers, because they get more time to do what they want to do rather than having to travel into work all the time.
Yeah. Do you think other companies might do this as well? Or maybe they'll see how successful it is, and then
I think it might be a waiting game till they see it. I don't know if American culture would do it, because I think they really like the whole togetherness.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do worry about that, because I do think you will work together, but you will work better when you're together, because you can like bounce ideas off each other, things like that.
Well, that's it.
You collaborate.
And you're readily available like at all times, rather than having to kind of
Whereas this is a bit individualist. Although saying that, as I said, it's 3 days at home, 3 days, or office based, depending on which side you're on.
Yeah, I think
So I guess you have at least 2 days to,
to collaborate face to face. Yeah, I think it really depends on the role, because if you're a developer, you generally get given your your bit of development work that you need to do, and then you're off with your headphones on. You don't really need to collaborate once you've been given the spec of what you need to write. So I think for developers, it'll be better for them, because they don't have somebody like looking over the shoulders, interrupting them every 15 minutes when they're trying to code. So if anything, it could be better from that side of things.
I mean, I guess we'll see how that one pans out, but that's a positive step. CD Projekt Red, always in the news. This time they have confirmed to investors that December the 10th is the definitive final date for Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's good. So they've not pushed it again.
And they mentioned it no less than 3 times, that date, in the report to their investors, just to hammer it home.
If you didn't hear it, it's December the 10th.
That is the final date, and that is when it's happening. We can look forward to that now. Another thing. Well, yeah, still gotta wait for the next few months. Because I watched the. Did you see the gameplay videos? How do you see them?
I watched the night Night City Wire, the last episode. Yeah,
that new trailer was amazing.
that showed off a lot more gameplay than I thought was going to be in that. Like, I didn't think there was going to be stuff like swimming underwater and doing that kind of stuff. Like, and going on roller coasters just for the fun of it.
yeah. That couple was like, what?
Yeah, no, that's really opened up the game more than what I just thought it was going to be. It's
so looking forward to it. But yeah, they released the like 2 videos of like comparing the Xbox One X to the Xbox Series X. That's right, isn't it? Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Where they were comparing the graphics of them. And it still looked very good on the One X.
One X.
You can see the differences.
Yeah. Well, it's early on in the
it's a bit shinier
in the generation, so a massive leap right now towards the end of the console generation. Then we'll start to see a bit more of a gap, like we do every time, really.
Yeah, you could see an improvement in terms of like the car models and the character models and that kind of thing. They did look better, as expected, but it was just interesting to see that comparison in the same video. And they did another one for the PlayStation Pro and the PS5, and then a similar thing. So they were good. So December 10th, put it in your diaries if you haven't already. Or end of next year when I'll get to play it. Anyway. This one, next one, kind of excited me personally. So IO Interactive, they announced a new project they were doing. And it's a new James Bond game, which is entitled Project 007. Whether that's a working title, I don't know. Maybe that'll change. I don't think it'll be a few years until this comes out, I think. But I can totally see why they've got that IP. If you play Hitman, you'll know why. That engine, because they use an engine called Glacier, it's a very good engine. I can see that working. James Bond very well. So
massively.
To that.
So it's just going to be like Hitman, but the guy's got hair this time.
Well, might not have hair.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Depends what the new Bond's going to be.
No, that's it.
That's my film. I don't know.
That's the big reveal that Hitman 47's been 007 all along.
Yeah.
He's the origin of 007.
That's the end of Hitman 3. Yeah, the reveal. Yeah. So
I think it was cool.
Because I was kind of worried what IO Interactive would do after Hitman 3. Hitman 3 comes out at the end of January. It didn't really, because I love Hitman, and I was sad that was going to be like the end, the last of the trilogy. I'm hoping maybe down the line.
But now it's mixing 2 of your favourite franchises.
I love
James Bond and Hitman.
I think it's going to be amazing. Can't wait for that. But I think we'll be waiting a few years for that one.
Do you? Oh, go on. Sorry. Go on.
Well, I was just going to say that the good thing about IO Interactive is that they do release like continuous updates on their Hitman games. So over like the year or two between them, they have done like a load of free updates. So hopefully that'll keep me going on Hitman 3.
And you've got the VR one to look forward to as well.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. So what were you going to say, Matt?
Oh, I was going to say, would you want them to do the 007 game in like a first-person perspective, or do it third-person like the Hitman games? Like, do you think they could do Hitman in first person and make it work?
I can't see why they couldn't, but as I say, with that Glacier engine that they use, which is pretty much like a third-person thing.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible engine.
I can just see them continuing with that. I'm sure they'll modify it. I don't think it'll play exactly the same as Hitman, but I think it'll be along the similar lines. But that'll do me. I don't mind. I'll take that.
No, I'd be happy if it was just like Hitman. I think something they also revealed on their website, at least along with the trailer, was that it was going to be it's an original 007 story. It's like the telling of the origins of 007.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the origins of James Bond though. I think it's just where 007 came from, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of the similar thing what they did at the beginning of Casino Royale, because that was like when he acquired the 007 moniker.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's going to be the same with this. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Look forward to that.
Looking forward.
The producer of Yakuza, said that he wants to make a Sonic game. So, a guy called Daisuke Sato, and he was asked in the interview which of Sega's IPs he would most like to work on, and he said, "It's an IP that I haven't come to before, in the sense that I want to try it. Well, Sonic. After all, when you hear Sega, you think Sonic. I'd like to get involved once at least, but for me, the so-called Sonic is, well, if I were to do it, I wouldn't do Sonic as it was. I would like to make a completely different Sonic."
Yeah, I mean, with Sonic Mania, we've already got like that 2D / a bit of 3D version of how it was. So it'd be nice to get something new for Sonic, because I think any Sonic game that's of like the newer games like Sonic Colors, even going back to Sonic Adventure, it's the best bits of it have kind of gone back to the like original style. So it'd be nice for them to do something new.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm trying to imagine what Sonic would be like in a Yakuza style. Just like
I'm not quite sure that's what he's going for, but that would be interesting.
no, I mean just like because obviously he's famous for the Yakuza, and I think even like the new one is it Yakuza? Is it Like a Dragon? I could be wrong. That's even like kind of different to like the previous Yakuza did, wasn't it? Because Like a Dragon's a turn-based like RPG.
Yeah.
Whereas like other Yakuza's has been kind of more kind of beat 'em up, I think.
Yeah.
If I recall. I've never played a Yakuza game, so
just straight up smashing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like Sonic in a Yakuza style.
Yeah,
could work.
Redo Green Hill Zone with like a load of robots coming to attack him, and he just smashes them all up.
I mean, who'd have thought BioWare would make a Sonic RPG, but they did for DS. So who knows?
Anything's possible.
Have we got any other news?
Yeah. So one of the bits of news that I wanted to talk about was the Red Dead Redemption 2 online-only version. So I think you mentioned this, Mark. So they're bringing it to the Microsoft Store, PlayStation Store, Rockstar Games Launcher, Epic Games Store, and Steam on the 1st of December. So on the day that this podcast releases. And it's going to start at an introductory price of $4.99 in dollars. So it might be $3.99 for us, or they might shaft us again and just give it us for £4.99. Yeah,
$5.99.
So that's currently 75% off the current retail price of Red Dead 2, and basically it's just Red Dead. Well, it is what it says. It's Red Dead Online as a standalone game. I did have a think about this, and I thought maybe more games should do this, because a lot of people are now just getting into the online side of it, and they don't really play the single player stuff. So, for example, we've seen it with Call of Duty Warzone. They released that as a standalone thing. Probably the same with Fortnite as well. The multiplayer free version has taken over, because there is a bit of single player stuff you can do, but again, it's just nowhere near as big.
In theory, I get what you're saying. However, because normally I would like get rid of the single player bit, and then you can just, once you've completed the single player, delete that from your hard drive. You've got the just the online version.
Yeah.
But I did notice that the Red Dead Online is like 128 gig. So
actually,
it's still a lot.
It's 123 gigabytes.
123. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's much better.
Yeah.
Big difference there.
Yeah.
So I think the bit that I like about it is that it gives you the freedom, like with them splitting the game up. So if you do want the full game, you can get the full game. If you just want the online to play with your friends, then you've got that side of it as well, and you save a bit of money. A bit of his thinking though, is this like a prerequisite to what they're going to do with GTA? Are they just going to keep GTA Online, and then GTA 6 is just going to be a first-person expansion?
Well,
GTA 6.
Didn't they? Did they not announce that GTA Online would be going free at some point next year.
Yes, it'll be free to play. Yeah.
So this is where I was actually a bit like,
microtransactions, baby.
That's it.
I was a bit like, if you're making GTA Online 3, why wouldn't you do that for Red Dead? Because like surely that would bring.
It's a bit newer,
more...
though, isn't it?
No, but then it would bring more people to it.
It's because there's fewer opportunities to sell things in Red Dead.
Mm.
No, if they added the content.
That's why they put much more into GTA. Because it sells more. You can't.
Well,
for instance,
clearly, I mean,
for instance, in GTA, you can just add a load of cars, new cars, new spaceships, new flying things.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Red Dead, can you?
There's not as much you can do. Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're getting the money based off that initial purchase.
I suppose so. But there'd be loads of ways you could do that for Red Dead. Like, I mean, for instance, like GTA Online, one of the recent sort of updates to it was that they added like a massive casino to it. You can do that kind of stuff. It's like, well, you could probably do that in Red Dead as well. I'm sure they'd see maybe.
But like a giant saloon with loads of different games you can play.
Well, why not?
Well, all this turns into something I was going to talk about. Really, is that they've had on Red Dead they have announced a new update, stuff that's going to come. So there's going to be an expansion to the bounty hunter role. There's going to be an extra 10 ranks to it, and you can unlock new things as part of that. And there'll be a brand new outlaw pass, but this time, compared to the usual 80 ranks, this one will go up to 100. So a bit longer. I just wanted to give us train robberies and bank heist. just give us something like that.
Yeah.
Give me liar's dice. That's all I want. Just give me liar's dice.
Bit of liar's dice.
Give me liar's dice from the first game. That's all I want.
Put blackjack online, please. You've got it in the main game. Put it online. What are you doing?
Oh,
they
yeah,
could do all sorts, like the knife,
dominoes,
little stuff as well.
Dominoes as well.
Yeah. Why is this not online? Why is it only single player?
That'd be right good for streamers. Well, we could even do it. We could play a drinking game and play dominoes. It'd be fantastic.
But however, there's one other thing for Red Dead that they're doing an update. Now, I don't know if either you do your daily challenges.
Every so often, but not.
So basically,
religiously.
every day you go on, you do a daily challenge, you get a bit of gold for it. And then after 28 days, you get a treasure map and you get half a gold bar. And then every subsequent day you do a challenge, you get half a gold bar for as long as you continue the streak.
Okay.
Now, they've just announced that apparently, starting from December the 1st, they'll be making changes to this. So the challenge streaks that reach 28 days will now award you with a cash bonus and a treasure map, but then it will automatically reset. So then you won't be getting half a bar for each subsequent one. You'll start from the beginning, which is like 0.2 of a bar.
Oh, right.
And you'll have to wait back up to your 28-day streak, and then it'll reset again. Which is annoying. That's really annoying.
I wish I knew about this when GTA Online, Red Dead Online was had started, because I would probably still be on the streak.
Yeah,
I know about that.
Yeah. I had a really long streak for about 300 days before I went on holiday. So
wow.
And I lost it.
Oh yeah, I can remember you talking about it. Like, oh no, I'm going to lose my streak.
No,
I almost won it.
So yeah, I don't like the sound of that. If they're going to do that, they better give us some good updates in the future.
This is it. I just want. There's so much like potential for Red Dead Online to be as big as GTA Online. I truly believe that, but it's just.
I still can't believe they ended up train robbers.
Well, that's it. They could have their own heists.
You think of any Western film or anything like that? It's got a train robbery or a bank heist. Come on, let us live out our cowboy fantasies, for God's sake. Anyway, but Rockstar. Oh, go on.
I'm going to say there's one thing that I want. Go faster racing strikes on your horse that gives it infinite stamina. I'd pay 10 for that.
Did they have the unicorn in the first Red Dead? Could have that. I'm sure they did.
Give us that.
I don't know, but I know they had the undead horses when they brought that expansion out.
It was the four horses of the apocalypse, weren't they?
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, is the one that was on fire.
Yeah.
War, I think it was. But Rockstar also did another update. Well, announced another update for another game, which of course is GTA Online. A brand new heist is coming. Called the Cayo Perico heist. So it's set on a private island. So this is the statement they put out. The Cayo Perico heist is the biggest GTA Online adventure ever, introducing an all-new exotic heist location with a brand new approach to heist design that features the ability to play everything solo or with up to 3 other players. Plus, you can acquire new vehicles and tactical weapons, experience new social spaces to dance and party with your friends, and a new world-class guest DJs, and listen to new radio stations with over 100 new songs. Oh, and a very large, very versatile, and very heavily armoured submarine HQ, with plenty of other surprises. So we can get a submarine, which I think will probably feel the same way as the yacht does in the current one.
I'd have thought it'd be more like the mobile HQ they can get, but obviously it's just underwater.
It depends if it moves or it just stays still down there.
I hope it moves.
But you just look at that update and then you just look at the Red Dead one. You just think it's not even close. You got a brand new location.
That's the first time for GT Online as well, isn't it? They've actually got a whole new location separate from the San Andreas.
Yeah, so that sounds good. But that comes out on December 15th, I want to say. I'm not quite sure about that. I think it's December 15th, but don't quote me on that.
Got
it. Right, something else, completely different. So the University of Oxford have suggested that games are good for your well-being.
Yeah, I read this as well. So they tested. Well, they did this test on a total of 3,274 people. And actually, this is in contrast to one of the other podcasts we did because they tested them on Animal Crossing and Plants vs Zombies. And we found that Animal Crossing had one of the most toxic fan bases. So I don't know how it can be good for your mental health, but hey ho, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, if you do play video games, don't feel like it's a waste of time. It's good for you. Oxford says.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Plants vs. Zombies, EA also shared data about in-game performance, and that included things like achievements and the emotes that players use during their gameplay.
Okay.
I'm guessing they were using that to judge their happiness levels, maybe? I don't know. Professor Andrew Przbliski, I want to say, but that's right, I don't know. Who led the study said, if you play Animal Crossing for 4 hours a day, every single day, you're likely to say you feel significantly happier than someone who does.
It's like someone could have been working a 12-hour shift and not have time to spend 4 hours on Animal Crossing.
He put the results down to perhaps that both of these games had a social aspect to them, which encouraged communication. So,
yeah.
To be honest, I don't think that study really tells you all that much. To be honest,
I'd like to know if a report could tell if people are toxic by doing the dab emotes in games.
Yeah.
If people are more toxic by doing the dabbing.
Yeah, the shushing in FIFA. Well, that's been taken out of the new one, though, hasn't it? You can't shush in 21.
No, I'm sure someone's taken over it.
Yeah, they've been the ones taking over there. Yeah. Right. 343 Industries. They expected to give a high-level update on the Halo Infinite quite soon. Don't know when, but so the 343 community director Brian Gerard posted the following on Reddit. He said, "Right now, we're still going through the huge cascade of implications and ramifications to the release shift, and the team is heads down working through nearly every facet of the game. Full disclosure, we don't have anything planned for the VGAs, the Video Game Awards, but are hoping to offer at least a high-level update within the next few weeks so we can kind of restart this journey together after the holidays." That's an interesting quote, I think. Pulling together something like a demo or big beat for the VGAs is an enormous amount of work and would cause challenges with current milestones of the holidays. I know it's hard to wait, but the team is going to make the most of this extra time, and we want to make sure we can put our best foot forward and commit to greater transparency and dialogue on the road ahead. We'll get there and get the train going again.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah.
It's interesting that we start this journey together. Which sounds like...
It seems like they're stripping it back to bare bones and then just writing it again.
Yeah, that just suggests there's a massive overhaul. I mean, I think I mentioned that on the last podcast, but yeah.
Well, they did say they were going through every facet of the game, so...
Yeah. So, we'll see how that pans out, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully good, because I'd like to see I'd like to see a Halo game that's good again, unfortunately. Definitely we've had one since Reach.
Yeah. I went to find the 5. So.
No.
I mean, I've not played 4 or 5, but I suppose the noise that was made around them when they came out wasn't positive, so.
Right. Assassin's Creed Valhalla has become the biggest Assassin's Creed game launch in history. Probably surprising based on the current situation. People want to play the games, don't they? So
yeah.
It sold more units. It sold more units in the first week than any other Assassin's Creed game, and it was the biggest PC launch of any Ubisoft game.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah.
I'll wait till it's a tenner to play.
Well, it's PS5. I'm going to be waiting a year anyway. It might come down in price anyway.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Next generation. Nah, I probably won't do actually. Still set. And it's Ubisoft. They'll have like a 90 quid gold edition or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
with the season pass and everything.
They always have like 4 different versions of every game.
You forgot about the 120 quid Viking edition.
Oh, there we go. Make that 5 editions then.
Oh, get Thor's Hammers DLC.
I don't know. I'm assuming
like
that because I remember when Odyssey came out, that was ridiculous.
They always have one with a statue in or something.
Yeah. Got to have something tangible, otherwise it's not worth it. Did anybody hear about the Amazon driver stealing the PS5? There's been a few actually.
Yeah, I was going to say this is probably
there's quite a few about.
There's
not just Amazon.
There've been like drivers that have swapped cat food out with PS5s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Shouldn't laugh, but
it's funny.
So but you want to adapt to you. That's the thing.
The one that I'm talking about in particular is this CCTV footage of, I quote, somebody taking a PlayStation sized box from the back of the van and put it into the front of the van. And basically, this person went to the Amazon depot, and the driver's now been sacked for stealing the PS5. This is, well, generally this is an horrible thing to say, but the launch day where the person was supposed to get the PS5, it was her son's 16th birthday, so he missed out on it on his birthday, and that made me laugh.
Such a nice human being you are.
If I can't have it, neither can they. But yeah, that was a heartwarming story of somebody that didn't get the PS5 on the birthday.
Heartwarming.
Yeah. Has anybody heard about people emulating PS2 on the Xbox Series S?
No.
Yeah, so gamers are turning the Xbox Series X and S into emulation machines. In particular, the S version, because of how cheap it is, and it can run PS2 games really well. I think that's quite funny because it's running PS2 games before the PS5 can. So at the minute, gamers are trying to get other consoles to work on it, like GameCube, anything that generation backwards. So yeah, could see in a couple of years' time that's going to be the emulation machine of choice.
I would laugh if they got the Series S to emulate a PS3 games before PlayStation 5, because that would be like the ultimate insult.
Yeah,
I don't think it would, because I don't think any machine can do it now, unless you had a PS3.
They had that Cell processor, didn't they? So it's always difficult to emulate PS3 games, though most of them didn't actually use it. So it could probably do some, because earlier on, it's like games like Oblivion looked better on the Xbox because that cell processor couldn't be utilized. So it loaded better and ran better on the Xbox 360 rather than the PS3, even though the PS3 were more powerful. But that's another story.
Yeah. Right, I've only got one other piece of news which I'm sure would interest most of us. HBO have come out and greenlit a Last of Us TV series.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah,
they're
'cause
going ahead with it.
Yeah, because this was originally announced quite a while ago, wasn't it? But they've actually got the full go ahead now, haven't they?
Yeah, no, they've got like, here you go, here's the money, make
It's
it.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got pretty much no details other than I think the writers.
Yeah, there's no
I think
casting.
it's going to be.
So.
Yeah, there's been no casting. I don't think there's been any production either, but I think they've kind of come out and said it will pretty much go over the story from the first game with some crossover from the second game as well, with also original scenes made for it. So, sure we'll all look forward to that. Oh, I wonder how big that will be though. Like, if trying to cross over to, I suppose, a broader audience, would people be interested in that sort of story?
I think people enjoy relationship building storylines. So I can see if it's going to be like a play on the first one or whether it's going to be its own story. Well, we don't know yet, do we?
Do you think he'll go over the same themes as what it was? Because obviously the first game has like a
lot of dark undertones.
Well, a lot of dark undertones. I mean, the bit from the game that always comes to my mind is the alien. What's his name? David. That's it. Yeah. I'm like, what would that look on TV? Would it? I think it might be a bit 18-ish, 18 plus.
I would have thought the season would have been that anyway.
Yeah, for the gore that's in there.
True. No, that's true.
And when you look at what's in The Last of Us Part 2, as well, in terms of what you see.
Yeah. No, I suppose that's probably my ultimate question. Like, will he keep the 18 kind of rated content that was in the games for the series, or would they try and broaden it out, maybe tone it down a bit to try and get a
wider audience? I wouldn't want them to do it. I'd want them to go, if they're going to do it full.
Yeah.
No like 12 or 15 rubbish.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell the story, tell it.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're just going to disappoint the fans who actually played it, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
You get some dumbing it down. You don't want that.
Fair enough. I think I'd agree with you guys as well. Like, I can't wait to see like the first look of a live action clicker. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Terrifying as well if they do it right. But just gone AWOL, Nathan suddenly.
Yeah, it's
just walks out, doesn't say anything.
No.
Everything all right there?
Yeah. Cat was just scratching at the door, so I just told her to bugger off.
I'm glad you muted.
Yeah.
Right, I'm done.
I'm out of news, so if anyone's got any news.
Yep, I'm Ian Beald. I'm all done.
Right, shall we move on to on December the 10th, it's the Game Awards.
Yeah.
So Jeff Keighley comes out of his box for his one big night of the year.
He gets off Twitter.
Yep. Yeah. I'm announcing PS5 pre-orders the next day. There's less said about that. But,
yep.
So the Game Awards. We've decided that we're going to try and predict them.
Yeah.
Probably terrible.
Big brain time.
Let's give it a shot either way.
Ooh, this should be fun.
So there's, I don't know how many categories there are, but
there's
a lot.
I think in total is about
something.
Yeah,
it's about 30 in total, but we've got We've left some out deliberately because we are not esports people.
Yes, we've cut out the esports segment.
So yeah, I think that was about 6 awards there.
We just kept the actual interesting ones.
Yeah. Also, as a caveat, we will have some guesses in there for
pretty much all of them will be guesses.
All of them are going to be guesses, aren't they?
Okay, so we're going to start with best game direction. So the nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. What we got?
The Last of Us Part 2.
I went with Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh. I've gone Last of Us Part 2.
That's surprising, Mark.
Well, not really. I don't think it's a surprise, but anyway, find out. Best narrative. So we've got 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Don't know if you pronounce that right.
Aegis, I think.
There we go. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us Part 2 again.
No, I'm going for The Last of Us Part 2 on this one.
I mean, I think it'd be hard pressed if that doesn't win. I'm surprised if that didn't really win.
Spoiler alert, for the next few, it's going to be quite Last of Us Part 2 heavy, but...
Well, we'll see.
Well, it's a big game, so, you know. Right, best art direction. So we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2.
I've gone for Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
I've gone for Hades.
Ooh.
I
was thinking Hades because it is art style wise, it's really nice. I do like it.
It's had a lot of positives in that game. Right. Best score and music. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Last of Us Part 2.
See, there's some recurring.
It's going to be recurring from Nathan at least, I think.
I've gone for Last of Us Part 2 as well.
I went for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, you do love the music in that game.
I played it. To be fair, I think when I played it earlier this year, I don't think any other game music-wise really moved me the way Final Fantasy did. So, I think it's got a good chance this one. Although I was umming and ahhing with Doom Eternal because I know Doom Eternal's music really rocks with the gameplay as well. Like really, just like beat for beat, really good stuff.
Best audio design. So we've got Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Please refer to my previous comment. The Last of Us Part 2.
I really want Resident Evil 3, just because it's the only thing that's been nominated for. But I've gone for Last of Us Part 2 on this one.
I've gone for Half-Life Alyx.
Ooh.
Just thinking because that's VR, so audio might play a big part in that.
No, it could do actually. It's
But take nothing away from Last of Us Part 2. It's got great audio design. So either way, best performance. So we've got Ashley Johnson as Ellie in Last of Us Part 2. Laura Bailey is Abby in The Last of Us Part 2. Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai in Ghost of Tsushima. Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades. Naji Jeter as Miles Morales. I don't know if that's in Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I've gone with Ashley Johnson as Ellie.
What'd you go for, Mark?
I went for Laura Bailey as Abby.
I also went with Laura Bailey as Abby. I think her performance is just, I don't know. It's thing is, it's Laura Bailey.
And I think together with all the, let's just say the crap she had to take on live. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't want that.
I think it'd be a good kick in the teeth if she won.
It would be nice, yeah. And I think
she's earned it. I mean, I think she's a terrific performance as well. So,
no, I agree.
Games for Impact. So there's If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, and Through the Darkest of Times. I'd say I don't really know any of those.
Me too. I've just gone with Tell Me Why as a guess.
Yeah, that's what I've gone with because that's the other one I've really heard of.
I think I've heard of some of them, but I went for Tell Me Why, purely for the transgender protagonist. I think it's probably something that's like massive in gaming. So.
Yeah. Right, best ongoing game, I believe. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
For me, I've gone Fortnite with this for this one. It just keeps on ticking over and getting bigger.
Fair enough.
I've gone for Apex Legends.
Not a bad choice. Could see why. I went with No Man's Sky.
Oh.
It has really grown since its release. I'll agree with that.
Oh yeah.
I think for the lot of stick that it got for when it first released, rightly or wrongly,
Rightly.
beyond that one, as much as Nathan will make his opinion on.
I'm in agreement with him, to be honest. I don't think it was very good. And to be honest, I never understood why people were excited with it to begin with. Because when I first saw the very first trailer, I was like, well, don't look like there's a lot of stuff in this. People got really excited about it. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
It's got better.
It's massively grown since it's come out. So I think that's a good thing for the developers.
Best indie game. So we've got Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer.
Right, I'm going to premise this by saying if we don't all pick the same one, I'm going to be very disappointed. I've gone for Fall Guys.
Cool, Matt.
You could have let me down, aren't you, Matt? I know it.
I'm not going to let you down because I've gone for Fall Guys as well, but I'm now kind of torn to change that, but I'll keep it for now. I think.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you.
What were you thinking?
I'm going to disappoint you.
I was thinking to go with Hades. Yeah,
I've gone for Hades.
I was torn between Fall Guys and Hades. I think.
Well, you've made your choice.
No, well, I've made a choice now, so I can't change it.
You never know. It might do it.
I think
Best mobile game. Among Us, Call of Duty. I don't really play mobile games anyway. Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Gone for Among Us.
Same here, Among Us.
It's just seeing culture right now.
It's the in thing, isn't it?
I went for Genshin Impact.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Because when that came out, it was the in thing as well.
Right.
But it's also on it's also on consoles and PC, so it's linked between mobile and PC. But it's a massive game actually. I've played a little bit of it. It's almost MMO-esque, but you play like it's Breath of the Wild. It's not bad actually. It's just not bad.
I've just had a thought. Do you know we're doing all these? What is it called?
Predictions.
Predictions. That's the one. Yeah. Maybe what we should do in the next podcast is see who gets the most right.
Well, I think that was the
aim. Oh, that was the plan, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
That was the aim,
all right. I thought we were just doing it.
We're not guessing. Just like we're just not going to say anything next.
Right. Okay. That's fine.
Not winning anything.
You get your honour. That's what you get.
Nah, I don't want that. Don't pay the bills, does it? Best community support. So Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant.
I've gone with Fall Guys.
I've gone for Fall Guys as well.
I went for Fall Guys.
They have good Twitter game. As they say.
Top Twitter game.
Best VR/AR. Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. I was torn in this one.
Me too.
There was two that I was torn between.
Do you want to kick us off, Matt?
I think it's a clear choice. I think it's Half-Life Alex.
That's what I went with, but I was also torn with Walking Dead. No, I know that's being very.
Walking Dead 1 is really good. It's probably like the best Walking Dead game. Outside of the Telltale games.
Yeah, but I went with Half-Life as well.
I went with Iron Man VR because it's living the dream. That's it. I want to be Iron Man.
You want to be Iron Man?
I am Robert Downey Jr.
This next category is one that was. This is the first ceremony it's been introduced, and that's the innovation in innovation in accessibility. So we had Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperdot, The Last of Us Part 2, and Watch Dogs Legion.
I was split between two. I was split between Grounded and The Last of Us Part 2. But I think The Last of Us Part 2 edges it because it has so much in terms of accessibility for deaf-blind people.
That's
so,
what I've got.
It's pretty much my choice as well. The amount of effort they've put in for the accessibility is ridiculous compared to everyone else. So, yeah.
Right. Best action game: Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alex, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. I've gone for Hades.
Ooh.
Just because it's had so much positivity. That's the thing.
No, I can see it. It's I mean, for a lot of people, it's their game of the year. So
basically, that's the only ones where it won't come across The Last of Us Part 2. So
yes,
I think that's
it doesn't come across it right compared.
Doom Eternal.
I also went for Doom Eternal. I think.
Okay.
I think that was. I think if Doom Eternal didn't come out this year, I probably would have gone for Hades as well. But something about Doom when it came out, everyone was massive on it. So.
Best action adventure: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. That's what I'm going.
For some reason, action adventure, I didn't agree that The Last of Us Part 2 should have been in it.
Why?
What category would that be?
I don't know. It still feels like more of a horror game to me.
It's interesting, they don't have a category for it.
That's because it's not me that come out, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, maybe so.
The way I categorize horror games is games where you've not got as much control over your environment.
So how do you explain Resident Evil?
You don't have as much control over your environment. Like everything's really scarce.
I mean, Nemesis is a scary dude. I want to meet him in an alley. Let's be honest. Fair enough. I've gone for something quite maybe peculiar, but I actually think it should deserve it, even though I've not played much of it. I went with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think it was an excellent game. Maybe it's probably a little bit overshadowed from what's also in this category, but I feel like on merit it did really well with what it did, and it's currently the best Star Wars game probably out.
It's not hard.
Best role-playing
nice
game.
The Old Republic.
Best role-playing game. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I've gone for Final Fantasy VII.
Same here.
I also went Final Fantasy VII Remake, although I was a little torn with Persona 5 Royal, because I know how big Persona 5 is. But I didn't play it, so.
Go what you know. Best fighting game. Now, to be honest, I didn't type. This was potluck for me.
This is probably my weakest one.
So, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I've never heard of that. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, and Under Night in Birth X Late CTLR. What? That's just a weird title, but whatever.
Poor Saitama. Nobody knows him. Anyway,
I've gone for Mortal Kombat, but potluck.
I've gone for Mortal Kombat as well.
Sure.
Because of the gore and the guts and the claws and stuff.
The claws. Like best family game. So Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario: The Origami King.
I've gone for Animal Crossing.
I've gone for Animal Crossing.
I went for Fall Guys.
No, it's a decent shout.
I mean, it's family. To be fair, I was torn between that, Animal Crossing, and Crash Bandicoot. Because I think Crash Bandicoot is. I mean, the fourth one, from what I've heard, is brilliant. It's a good new addition to the series.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing obviously just blew up back in March at a time where, like, I think everyone needed it. This year at least. So I can see why a lot of people would choose that as their, well, probably even their game of the year, maybe, because of how many hours probably a lot of people put into that. But I don't know. I've not played it, so I went with Fall Guys.
Okay, best sim strategy. So Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and XCOM Chimera Squad.
Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I've gone for Microsoft Flight
Flight Simulator.
It looks fantastic.
Being able to fly the entire world, that's just mind-blowing.
I actually bought it on Steam.
Oh, really?
And then it wouldn't install correctly. So I had to get rid of it. I was so...
Surprised you didn't go for something else.
Because I was really looking forward to that.
Mm.
I mean, I said before, you know my love of simulations, that kind of thing. So I was
That's
so
it.
into
Perfect.
to play that.
Well, you've seen they're doing a big update in January. It's all based in the UK. Like, they're gonna add a lot more like airports and like really detail out.
So it'll be Flight Simulator Horizon 4.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fly a plane straight into my house.
Well,
that's gonna be
it's
brilliant.
coming to the Xbox, so
It's another reason to get a Series X.
Yep.
Yeah, so I am looking forward to that one when I get to play it. But yeah, that's my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Best sports or racing game. So we've got Dirt 5, F1 2020, NBA 2K21, FIFA 21, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Go on, Mark. I know you're dying for it.
Tony Hawk's. It's Tony Hawk's. If that doesn't win, I riot.
What are you going for, Nathan?
I've gone for FIFA 21.
I wanted to make a joke that I picked FIFA 21, but now that you've actually picked it, I can't really. That's sad to me. I went for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 just because it is a brilliant remake. And other than that, I could see F1 2020. I think that would be.
That's really good.
Because I think that won last. Year. I think that got the sports one for 2019. I think.
19, yeah.
If FIFA wins, though, I will just die.
For what it's worth, if I'd have played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I'm sure I would have picked that because I do love the originals. And FIFA is stale. But yeah.
Actually, the worst one to win there would be NBA. So that's...
Yeah,
No,
definitely. With all the controversy around.
Having those microtransactions win.
We'll have none of that, please. Best multiplayer. So Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, and Valorant. I've gone for Fall Guys.
Yeah, I concur. Fall Guys.
I concur twice. Went for Fall Guys. To me, it was either that or maybe Among Us. But
yeah, it's gonna be one of the two.
I mean, this is just a little nitpick. My argument with Among Us being in this is that it didn't come out this year. It was actually I think it's like a 2-year-old game, but it just got popular this year.
Mm.
I don't like that, but I'm not the one who made the awards, so.
That's it. Infiltrate.
But is this for the mobile version? Is that newer? I don't know.
To be fair, I don't
depends,
know about
really.
the mobile. The mobile might have come out this year. If it is, then all right, fair play.
I know we've not gone for it anyway. So,
No.
best debut game. So Carry On, Mortal Shell. Is that Raj?
I think it's Raji.
Raji and Ancient Epic.
I'm assuming.
Rocky. And Phasmophobia.
I don't know anything that you just said, but I've gone for Mortal Shell.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. That's like a steampunk take on Dark Souls, if I recall.
Okay.
I've gone for Phasmophobia. I know it's becoming very popular now, and I've watched quite a few people streaming it.
I also went for Phasmophobia because I play it and it's pretty good, even though it scares the poo out of my pants.
Right, this one, to be honest, could have done away with this one. But anyway, Content Creator of the Year. I'll be honest, there's only one of these people I've heard of. There's Alana Pierce, Jay Ann Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, and Valkyrie.
It's Tim the Tatman.
Hey, that's his nickname.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The only one I've heard of is Alana Pierce. But I've only picked her because that's the only one I've heard of. Whether they've created anything, I don't know.
Go on, Nathan, what would you guess?
I don't know any
of
of
these.
these.
A weird category.
I don't know who these people are. Initially, I went for Jay Ann Lopez, but I've got to go for Tim the Tatman.
Tim the Tatman. The only two that I know is Alana Pierce and Timothy Buttar, as his name is, Tim the Tatman. I know Tim. He does a lot of like gameplay and stuff. I know it became big because on Twitter, he did a lot of streaming of Fall Guys, and he was the one who the community manager of Fall Guys kept on picking on for not winning the crown. Like, he just couldn't win a crown on stream for ages, and then he finally won it. So it got massive on Twitter. I saw it. It was just like everyone was talking about it. But I've gone for Alana Pierce as well because one, I've heard of her, and two, she did a lot of charity work this year. She did a lot of stuff. And for what I know, actually, she's got a new job. She actually works at Santa Monica Studios as a junior writer.
Now, something like that.
Yeah, so she's writing the next God of War.
Oh,
maybe.
Well, that brings us on to
brings us nicely
next
to the next one. Yeah.
So most anticipated game. Okay, so we've got Elden Ring, the God of War sequel, Halo Infinite, Horizon Forbidden West, Resident Evil Village, and the Breath of the Wild sequel.
This was a tough one because I was split between God of War, Halo Infinite, and Breath of the Wild sequel. But I had to go for God of War.
Yeah, this is probably the closest to I've had to a personal choice. Well, apart from the Tony Hawk's one, but yeah, God of War sequel. Yeah, just when I look down that list, I mean, Halo Infinite. I don't think many people might choose that now.
No,
well, we don't know what it's going to be yet.
If it was originally coming out next year anyway, but
it's interesting that Breath of the Wild sequel is on that. Has that been confirmed to be coming up next year?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Well, I don't think next year, but it's just most anticipated game. They didn't say it for next year.
True. But yeah, God of War for me.
My personal choice was torn between Resident Evil Village and Breath of the Wild. I think this is going to win choice is God of War. So that's
tactical.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I'm looking forward more to Breath of the Wild and Resident Evil because I've played the previous games and I've not played the new God of War yet, so I can't say I'm looking forward to it. But I know how massive it is, so tactically I have to go for God of War.
Fair dues.
Well, that brings us on to the biggie.
the big one.
Game of the year. So we've got Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Right. So for me, it's got to be the game that we did a special on, and we spent over 2 hours talking about.
2.5
2.5 hours, The Last of Us Part 2. And if anyone wants to listen to that, it's on Podbean.
Yeah, I've got to go for The Last of Us Part 2 with this. I can't see anything else winning.
I feel like you made that choice, Nathan, just as like an advert for us. Really, it's like it's not really the one you wanted to go with, but. Yeah, I think there's only one choice for me. It's got to be Last of Us Part 2, I think.
I mean, I have to say.
Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, looking back on all of these, I'm disappointed that I've not chose Ghost of Tsushima for anything. Because I really did love that game. And I think if Last of Us hadn't been out this year, I think that could have been a real winner in some of these categories.
Yeah, it's just a shame they got paired with The Last of Us in a lot of categories. And I think it did so many things so well. Unfortunately, it's had to fall by the wayside.
Like second fiddle, yeah.
Even I've picked Ghost of Tsushima for something. I've not even played it.
Yeah. Well, it's them's the breaks. It's just what it comes up against, isn't it? But who knows? Maybe it will have win something. Who knows? But these are only predictions, aren't they?
Well, I said, did he? Who were the winners in the golden joystick that went by recently?
I was gonna say that. So yeah, the Golden Joystick Awards happened. They took place on 24th of November, and these are just some of the winners. So best storytelling was won by Last of Us Part 2. That's my guess. Best multiplayer game was Fall Guys. Best visual design and Last of Us. Best game expansion, No Man's Sky Origins. Mobile game of the year, Lego Builder's Journey.
Ooh.
Heard of that? Cool.
Sort of heard of it.
Best audio, The Last of Us Part 2. Best indie games, Hades.
I really want to change my choice.
The Still Playing Award.
So that'll be like the ongoing, won't it?
Yeah, I guess. That was won by Minecraft.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah,
because they've got Dungeons out as an expansion. So.
Studio of the Year, Naughty Dog. Esports Game of the Year. Brand new streamer broadcaster, I Am Brandon.
Never heard of him.
That is.
I'm sure he's lovely.
Best family game, Fall Guys. Best gaming community, Minecraft. This was an interesting one. Best performer, Sandra Sard as Kamala Khan in Marvel's Avengers.
I was actually surprised she wasn't in this one for the Game Awards because I think she did an amazing job in the Avengers. Like she makes that game for me. Like at least the campaign. Like she was brilliant. Unfortunately, everything else not. But
Breakthrough Award was Inner Sloth for Among Us. Outstanding contribution just says the gaming industry.
Oh, I think this is where they awarded just like the gaming industry is like this year's been difficult, so we're just gonna give it everyone.
PC Game of the Year was won by Death Stranding because that was released this past year.
I was surprised by that.
Best gaming hardware, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080. PlayStation Game of the Year, Last of Us Part 2. Xbox Game of the Year, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, I'm behind that. Yeah.
It's just that's a game I really wish I'd played before last podcast.
Nintendo Game of the Year, Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Most Wanted Award, God of War sequel. Critics' Choice Award, Hades. And finally, the ultimate game of the year, The Last of Us Part 2.
Fall Guys, damn it.
So yeah, that's all the award talk.
Yeah,
I believe you can go and make your own choices for the Game Awards on the website.
Yeah, it is a public choice one. So
shall we link that in the description?
So you go there before December the 10th. I think it runs. I think it's up until the day before. the 9th. So I think it's final day is the 9th that you can submit your choices. So go do that. Look at the Video Game Awards website. Google it. You'll find it. All right. Should we move on to something slightly different? A little discussion.
Yeah.
You brought a topic for us, haven't you, Nathan?
I have, yeah. So I'd like to talk about scalpers and what are our thoughts on scalpers. So all this has come about because I think all over the world, but especially for us in the UK, we found it very difficult to get our hands on the new consoles, the Series X and the PS5. We hear it more with the PS5. Basically, we've got like scalping companies buying up thousands of consoles and doubling up the price on them. I just want to know your opinion on it. Are you like, oh, it's free market, people can buy as many as they want, and if people want to pay that much, it's supply and demand? Or are you under the guise that these people have bought more than their fair share, and somebody else could have had that console and they've not got it now, so people are forced to have to pay these outlandish prices to get what they want?
Well, the thing is, it's not the fact that they've bought multiple consoles; it's the manner in which they do it. It's the whole bot aspect. So other people don't even get a chance to buy consoles. That's the thing. That's the point. Problem. If you want to go and sit with your computers buying these things individually, one by one, if you want to try and hoover them up by that method, fair play to you. If you've got time and you've got the money to do that sort of stuff, then fair play. But when you've got bots taking massive stock in literally seconds, and nobody else even has a chance, any normal consumer, then that's too far, I'm afraid. Something needs to be done to stop this. And a lot of people seem to be like blaming Sony and like Microsoft for this, and it's not their fault. It's the retailers who need to be doing more to stop this.
Yeah, that's it.
It's retailers that are selling them.
They need to be implementing more ways to prevent this. So it could be for things like, I'm interested there. I listened to an interview with Phil Spencer, and he said that he believes that this current model is outdated, this pre-order model system. And he suggested that what should happen probably from now on is that you could put a deposit down on your console, so that you're guaranteed, so you can reserve a console with a guaranteed delivery date. Now that might not be the release date, but it'll be like your console will be produced, be made, manufactured on this date, and you will receive it.
It'll be with you. Right, so everybody will be able to do that, and they'll have a date for when they're going to get the console.
And you put a deposit down, and there you go. Well, I think that's one way of solving it. But I think Sony did say that when they did their last bulk sales, they said to try to limit it to one sale per customer. I'm not sure that quite happened from some retailers, or it wasn't implemented very well, or something, or whether these scalpers can get.
I mean, if they've got like bots buying them up using different IP addresses, so it shows that you're in a different location, then it's easily done.
But it's the whole pandemic has made it so easy, because obviously a lot of people just go to the stores, won't they? People waiting outside for days.
That's it. Because everything's online now, and nobody can go to stores to go and buy the consoles.
So it's just so
makes it that much more difficult. Yeah,
you can manipulate so much online.
Did you hear about the scalping ring? They've got about 3,500 consoles. They had like this subscription service where you could subscribe to getting a certain amount of consoles in. I think it was from like £40 to 200 or something like that, and you put your money in to get a certain amount of consoles that this company would procure for you, and then you can then just sell them on whenever you want, whatever you want. Recently, the head of that company came out and said, but basically trying to justify why they've done what they've done, is that these people that are making the money off the consoles might not have been able to buy gifts for their kids at Christmas But now, because of the extra money they're making, they can buy gifts for Christmas.
But by taking everyone else's money.
Yeah.
By charging a
That's
high
it.
price.
Everyone else's gifts. What?
Nonsense.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense.
That's
Silly.
how they've tried to justify it. And I think it's absolute rubbish.
I wish we could use like harsher words, but it's
Yeah, it's a child friendly.
family friendly.
How do you go around stopping this? That's the thing.
Be harsher with people that are scalping on Facebook. Contact Facebook and the selling websites and just say, if it's this much over SMRP, block the sales.
Personally, I think they should be taken off of eBay. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just for a
I
period
think
of
it's
time.
the distribution websites that need to do something, or Sony and Microsoft need to be liaising with these companies like Facebook, Spock,
I think
eBay to sort this out.
I think Sony and Microsoft need to liaise with each other as well.
Yeah,
because I think it's a problem for both. And
Yeah.
I think it has become a war on these scalpers now, hasn't it? So it's going to keep happening. So I think they've got to come together and put their might behind trying to prevent this, because there's a lot of consumers out there who've gone without. When I think if it wasn't for these scalpers, I know there still would have been issues, but there wouldn't be half of the amount of lack of consoles.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, they've been going in seconds. Like, literally seconds, because these bots have just automatically done it.
just bought them all up. Yeah.
It's like,
I was going to say, like, I think the main point of this is I think, as you touched on at the start of it, it's the method of how they've done it is what really needs to be looked at. Like, what can we do about, or what can retailers do about bots just buying up thousands of consoles in stock in seconds? Like, I feel like with stuff like this, when there's new consoles or anything that's obviously got a massive buzz around it, there needs to. I don't know if one way of doing it is to have a limit on how many you can buy. I feel like you should be able to buy as many as what you can afford. I think that should be fine. I think anyone should be allowed to do that. It's more or less, how do you then recognize an account that's gone on to do it is essentially a digital, I suppose, a digital being that's doing this for you rather than an actual human.
Well, maybe due to supplies, obviously due to this first year, maybe for like the first year they could have said you can only have one.
Yeah.
And then thereafter, you can buy others.
I think that would have been fair, yeah. Because I think they knew going into this as they were launched there was going to be an infinite amount that they'd only made, especially due to the pandemic that we're in. They didn't make as many as what they probably hoped they would. So I think initially they should have gone, right, maybe 2 maximum. Everyone per IP address can maybe afford, well, not afford, but order. I don't know. It's a difficult one to look at and come up with a
solution.
a real solution on how. Because I mean, I would imagine if you're buying stuff, they would have the whole like recapture method as well to like sign in and or maybe have that to like, right, if you're ordering these, you need to confirm that you're a human being. Maybe they could have implemented that potentially on every purchase.
So something like, if when you're just about to order, your webcam turns on, you've got to take a picture of yourself, and if it's human looking, then it places the order.
Human looking.
Yeah.
I can imagine most of these scalpers though doing the orders. It just takes a quick capture. Oh well, he's naked.
It's just like you see some of these images on the internet, like on Twitter and things like that. It's just like so depressing. It's like I'm looking at an image here where it's just like someone's just piled up 43 PS5s.
Yeah.
And it's like a mix
one of them could have been mine.
Yeah, it's just like how many. It just
makes you angry.
It's greed. That's all it is.
That's it. It's just money.
It's like, How many happy families at Christmas could that have been?
42
43.
plus the person that
42,
got
yeah.
the PS.
No. The person who's bought them, he don't want for himself. Clearly, he's going to sell them all. He needs to make the money. It's 43. One's got my name on it.
It's
42 then.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah, it's 42 now.
it's not on, and it's got to stop. It really is.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done. There's no way this can carry on because the thing is, this will happen every single time. Every time they announce or stock, this is going to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So until we start going back to shops, I can't see anybody being able to get one anytime soon.
The only other thing is that Sony and Microsoft flood the market with consoles, so there's no way it's worth it to people to scalp them. But then
Surely
it's
more
sell them
consoles
directly.
just means more stock for them, though.
but there's only a certain amount of money you're going to spend on them as an investment.
If retailers can't sort it out, then I'll just sell them all directly.
Well, why not? I mean, you can order from their websites if you want to get
Because clearly
your
retailers
next gen
can't.
console.
Clearly retailers can't do it right by the looks of it. You know, releasing them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Before anyone's even ready.
That was terrible.
Clearly, they're not doing enough. A number of times I tried to buy ones from Game where I was logged in well before, so like 2 hours before the time that was supposed to be online.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly I was logged in, and then it just put me in a queue. It said you have to wait over an hour. I'm like, I was already logged in, and now you're putting me in a queue.
It's crazy.
It's just terrible.
Well, yeah, I think just to round it off, I think there needs to be a conservative effort between the gaming industry itself, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, everybody, and the retailers in order to combat this from happening. Because all it's doing is annoying gamers, really, people who want to get these consoles and want to play the games. And
does anybody actually care? That's my thought.
Because
in the end,
at a higher level,
selling.
they're getting the money, aren't they? So
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but
retail's getting the money, so they're not going to.
They could keep saying
both
players or whatever you want, but
for the scalpers, should change
it. It's not going to play, is it? That's the thing. No. Something has to be done. I don't know how. Something does. Anyway, should we move on to spells?
Yeah.
What we're all playing.
Yeah.
Me and Dave.
Jinx, touch wood.
Yeah.
Got Mark. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. To be honest, I've not really played all that much.
Mm-hmm.
I played a little bit more of Train Sim World 2. So I'm still on the Bakerloo line on the underground, but I'm in the overground bit now. So when it comes out of the city, it's a bit of overground, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So there was one where I had to go from a station to another station. It was quite a short journey, but then I had to take the train back to the depot.
Mm-hmm.
So when I reached that station, I had to go to the other end and then drive it back to the depot. Now on this one, because I was taking it back to the depot, I wasn't stopping at any stations, but there was signals along the whole line. So like every signal is like a red light. So you have to stop at each one, wait a few seconds, and then it'll let you go. And the thing about this, so you know how I mentioned in the last one where I overshot the stations quite a few times?
Uh-huh.
Now, that doesn't penalise you, really, in terms of, game overs or anything like that. But if you overshoot a red signal, even by 1 yard, it's game over.
Wow.
And you have to restart the whole scenario again.
Wow.
So I was there. I was coming to a red light, and I was just trickling along, and I literally just went 1 yard over, and it just went mission failure. I was like, so it booted me straight back to the beginning. Thankfully, I'd saved it halfway through. But
let's do the whole journey.
That's it. Yeah, you literally have to do the whole journey from the beginning again.
How long do the journeys tend to take?
Well, it depends on the scenario, but on average, I think it's the whole scenario is usually around half an hour each one.
Oh, so it's a good, decent chunk of time then.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So if I'd failed that, if I hadn't saved it, I would have probably had to do like another 20 minutes to get back to where I was. But anyway, I started another big game. I played Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs 2 last time. So I moved on to another one, and I moved on to Mafia 3.
Ah.
Ooh, very nice.
So I played Mafia 2 back in the day. Never played the first one. But I really liked Mafia 2. I thought that was great. So Mafia 3 is you play as Lincoln Clay, and he's a Vietnam War vet who's returned. Black protagonist, he's in the deep south. So he's in a place called New Bordeaux, which is a fictionalized version of New Orleans. And let's just say he doesn't get treated very well. Now I've not got too far into it. About 3 hours. Now I know this game it didn't receive glowing reviews. But I have to say, what I've played so far, I'm actually really liking it. It's a lot more cinematic than I thought it was going to be. It's got a lot of like cutscenes and things like that. Yeah, as I say, I've not played a whole lot of that, but we'll see how that goes. And one last game I played. So this one, you'll be good to hear, Nathan. You'll be glad to hear this one. I played Gears of War.
Which one?
Wow.
First one.
The first one. Oh. Okay. What are you thinking?
Well, we're going to have an argument here, Nathan.
Uh-oh.
About who loves it the most?
It's a stupid game.
Why?
I have to say.
Stupid. Wow.
What is with the difficulty? Why is it so difficult? I don't understand.
Right, I think the issue is between chair and console.
What?
Controller?
No. Oh, very funny. No.
What's wrong with the controller?
It's a difficult game.
What difficulty have you got it on?
This was on
Please don't
casual.
say easy. Oh.
It's not that difficult.
How is it difficult? It is.
Right. Let's co-op it.
Right, I want to see streaming co-op between both
and the
of you.
checkpoint system in it is dreadful.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I'll give you the
I
checkpoint.
could not understand that. Every time I did something, it was like, please give me a checkpoint, please checkpoint, please.
Yeah,
And
like,
then
no.
every time it didn't. It just went, no, not happening.
Yeah.
And there was numerous times when I was going to just be done with it and just quit.
Ooh, this is what you were referring to.
There was
with the message saying
there was a number of times when I was just like, I'm sick of this. I just kept dying. It is hard.
Right.
I mean, I've even looked on the internet and other people have said the first one is difficult. So it can't just be me.
So there's other people as bad as you then?
Shut your face.
Right, 13-year-old Nathan completed that on the hardest difficulty.
I don't care. Don't care, Nathan.
How far has the old Nathan fallen now that he plays games on easy difficulties just for the story?
That's it.
And I got to the final boss.
Ram, yeah, it's a general.
Yeah,
it's
General Ram.
General Ram, isn't it?
On the train.
Train.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you're doing well then. You've got to end.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's completed it.
But that's when I ended.
So you've not beaten it yet?
It's not completed.
No.
Right.
I couldn't do it.
All you need to do is just get the boom shot, and then you'll be fine.
No. I ain't got no quite right. What I heard, I looked on the internet to how to complete this, and everyone kept saying, "Oh, get the torque ball, get the torque ball, get the torque ball." I didn't have a bleeding torque ball, and they weren't one to pick up. Right.
Why didn't you have torque ball?
So I couldn't do that. So the internet can shut up. And it's just, I just thought, right, I'm not replaying this to go and get a torque ball. So I'm just like, that's it, I'm done. And I just watched the rest on the internet. I just watched it on YouTube.
Fair enough.
So as far as I'm concerned, I've completed it. Well, I got near it. However, in terms of its combat and the way it played, I did like it.
Oh, good. Did you enjoy chainsawing the grunts?
To be honest, I never really did that.
Did you not?
Because I didn't go close to. Because every time I went close to it, anyway, I would like pretty much instantly die. So
all right.
I tried to avoid going near any areas.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of that.
Like when they get into dogfights, though, it's good, isn't it? Like the crouching and
and the cover aspect and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I did like that. So I would like to play the second one. And I've read that this first one is the most difficult in the series. So I'm hoping I might have a better experience. Because I bought the second and third one. I bought the first three like pretty much around the same time.
Yeah.
Because they're on sale or something. So I'd like to play the second one and hopefully I might have a better experience. But just the difficulty, man. Wow, why? Why so difficult? Anyway, that's all. Go on, Matt.
Oh, me. Okay. I've not played a lot myself since the last podcast, but I've played one thing a lot more than most things. But I'll get to that at some point. So, I've been continuing my Football Manager career. Well, actually,
You're still at Plymouth, were you?
I'm still at Plymouth. I'm in League One, and my first, I think, like 5 or 6 games weren't going well because I tried a new formation. I thought, oh well, it's a new league. I'll try a new formation. To try and change it up a bit and see what happens. And it weren't working. I've confirmed that Plymouth cannot play. Is it Gegenpress?
A Gegenpress.
Gegenpress.
Yeah.
Famous by
style.
the Klopp style. So I decided Plymouth can't do that. So I went back to formation that I had in League 2 that got me promoted, which is I think I do a 4-2-4. They call it wing play. So I suppose a lot of my play is based on the wing. I'm doing pretty well there. I started changing it around. I've gone up to. I was third at one point. I'm in the playoff positions. Like I've kind of solidified myself there. But then me and my mate decided to do a co-op career together. Because you can do like 2 managers in like the same, I suppose, game. So we can manage separate teams.
Oh, separate teams, all right.
Yeah, we manage separate teams in the same game. So we start over again. He's gone for Cleethorpes Town.
Big team.
From what I know, is the 8th division.
Yeah.
And in the same league as him, I've gone for Sheffield FC. We've found that both teams don't have that much money. All that good of players. I think I had about 600 quid to spend at all. And my wage budget's like 1,400 and something, I think.
A week?
Buy a couple of goals.
A month. Week. Yeah, a week. Sorry. And I've already gone over it by buying two like youth players from like Premier League teams that weren't wanted anymore. I brought them in and immediately were like, this team's S word. I don't know what to go for. They want me to bring other players in. I'm like,
I can't. I've spent all money on you two, you greedy buggers.
Yeah. Although I might bring 2 youngsters in on like 25 quid each a week, so they're happy about that. Oh, watch those shouts 1 second.
Bet they get more off at paper round. 25 quid a week.
Yeah. So they're happy I brought those 2 in. We've had an interesting start to the season. I think we're about 4 or 5 games in so far. I'm currently 6th, which is good. He's like 11th or 15th, I can't remember. But we finished it last night by having our first game against each other. Managing our teams against each other, and it ended 2-2 after me being 2-0 up in the first half.
Oh, I bottled it.
Yeah. I'm starting to find that Sheffield FC do well in the first half and then just completely drop off in the second half. So I have to hope we've got like a good lead by the first half.
Need to do some stamina training with them.
It's hard. Like I manage Plymouth and we train pretty much every day over then like one day after match is a rest day and then it's like train with like rests in between. Managing Sheffield FC, it's like Monday, none of our players are available because they're probably in their part-time job or something. Tuesday I've gone for like training.
Yeah.
Wednesday they're back to their job. Thursday I've gone for training. Friday I can't have them again, and then Saturday's like the match day. And then after that it's like Sunday, Monday. I don't get to do anything with them. It's so
they're all
weird.
knackered.
Yeah, it's so weird being there, but it's interesting playing in that league and seeing what it's like. So, so that was fun. One game I can't discuss until later on, but I was happily surprised by it. I honestly had no interest in it, to the point that I'll tell you that when it was on PS Plus, I didn't get it.
Really? Wow.
So
That's
I spent £12 yesterday for it. I thought it might
12
be
quid
like
well spent,
Friday
mate.
deals. It was not. So I paid
Yeah.
12 quid, but it was a happy 12 quid. I was happily surprised by this game, so I'm happy with it. Well, the only other game that I've played for a long time, according to Nathan's remark the other day, is The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. So
152 hours in a week.
152 hours, according to Nathan. So I started this midweek this week. I did start it like, when did I start it? I did try playing it. Might have been a year ago actually. I can't remember when my last save was, but I didn't get too far in it. So I thought, right, I'm gonna give it a proper go because I want to know what like a quality CD Projekt Red game is like before I finally get my hands on Cyberpunk, whenever that's gonna be. And yeah, The Witcher 3 is a brutal game. And I mean, it's infamous for that kind of thing where the choices you make, you think might be for the good of the people, and it kind of turns itself on its head, and you've actually done something really bad, but not for you, but for the people you thought you were doing good for.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting game so far. I'm quite liking it. The combat's really good. Quite like that. How you can parry, and you can dodge, and then counterattack. And then having two different swords. So like you've got a steel sword, which is for human enemies, and then you've got a silver sword for monsters and spirits and stuff. I'm liking the story so far. It's really trying to think of a word other than interesting because I'm starting to realize I use that word way too much.
We'll have to turn it into a drinking game.
Yeah, you have to take a drink to him. Take a shot every time Mathew says interesting. Fascinating. Well, the story's fascinating because like I've watched the Witch series on Netflix, which I think is brilliant, just because of Henry Cavill and his manliness. And and there's Yennefer as well, who's so
Who's yep.
who's those eyes. Anyway, and try to understand it from the series because I've read the books as well. I read the first book, which is the first series is all based on, and then I'm into the second one. But obviously the games follow on from the books, so trying to like learn everything that's happened in the story from what I sort of know happens. It is a little bit confusing, but I'm trying to I'm getting into it. It's pretty good. Like one quest that I did, which is a bit heartbreaking. Well, not heartbreaking, but I wasn't expecting it. Is like you find this dwarf in a village, and someone set fire to his blacksmith and stuff. And he's like, you need to find out who it is because I'll pay you. And the witch is like, yeah, we love paying, so give me money. So like, I found out who it was, and like, he didn't want to be he didn't want to be brought in effect. He was like, well, what are you going to do about it? So I like used a spell and was like, right, for me. Because he weren't behaving. And I was like, right, here's your guy. And then these guards come up and the dwarf's like, right, here's your guy. And like they went up and hung him. And I was like, oh god. Like I was just going to apologise for like pay to like for repairs, not absolutely
you've got
hang him.
to
Got what he deserved.
you've got to live by the conviction of your actions.
Yeah. Shouldn't
Or die in this case.
Personally, I would have thrown him in the fire. But
Well, there's like the story's a little bit more, I suppose, involved in that there were certain actions that were happened for a reason, like why burn it down and why this dwarf's actually really hated in the village. But I was like, I just want to get paid.
I
I wasn't expecting you to tag this guy, but I'll take the money, you know, and get a blacksmith out of it so he can repair my swords when I need it. But no, I'm really loving it so far. So I can't wait to get back into it after this podcast.
It's a game I need to get on.
It is a massive game. So, what about you, Nathan? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so I'll start with what I played, yesterday. So I decided to change the battery in my PSP because basically I had to play it while it was plugged in, otherwise it'd just die. So I ordered a battery, replaced it yesterday, as you might see on the Joking Dolphin Instagram page. So I decided I was like, right, now I've got battery, because it's got like 3 times the battery that it had before, even when the old battery was new. So like, it's great, I've got plenty of time now.
Power.
Yeah. So I decided to play Tony Hawk Underground 2 Remix for a bit. And I thought, I'll just play it for 10 minutes just to make sure it like holds a charge and it's all okay. And I was there for a good hour afterwards just playing it still. And I weren't even doing any of the quests or any like talking to people. I was just going around the map, just doing tricks and skating and stuff. I was just having a good time. Yeah, it was fantastic. It's it's like
a thrasher session.
It feels like just the PS1 games did. Like in terms of the music, it's got that vibe. But just in your hand, it was great. Just loved it. Just had a really nice time.
I had that as well. It was a good game.
Yeah. Other than that, been playing Pokemon Go on and off. So yesterday there was some Nidoran tasks. And basically, if you completed a certain task, like catching a certain amount of Pokemon, transferring a certain amount of Pokemon, you got to have the opportunity to get like a shiny version or a variant of this Pokemon. I ended up getting 2 females and a male shinies. How did you do, Matt?
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
What's the difference between the normal one and the shiny one?
So a shiny one, it's a different color than normal. So 99% say Pikachu is yellow. We know that. But the shiny, funnily enough, the shiny version's a bit of a different yellow, but the shiny version could be green, just for argument's sake. So it's just a different color of the same Pokemon.
But does it produce? Is there no special characteristics?
No,
just
no.
exactly the same. Just
exactly the same. Just shiny. Yeah.
So
they're normally rarer in effect.
Yeah.
But
it's like I've viewed 500 of a. I've never had a shiny version, but some people could click on 2 and get 2 shinies. It's just random as well. So it's one of the things that keeps you going. Other than leveling up, is trying to find these shinies, getting like 100% Pokemon that can be like the strongest and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I got a couple of shinies out of that, so that was good. The week before, as Matt shakes his head, didn't you?
Wait. How many tasks were there? There were like 10 lots in total or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Did you get to the end where you got 25 of each candy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when I got to that end, I think it was one of the last tasks that gave you like a Pokemon encounter one.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting the female Nidoran shiny, but that was it. I was like, wasted a good hour there.
What I did, I think this is a bit of like a little hack, but I transferred, do you know the Miltan boxes that you can get? So if you're on like Pokemon Home, I think, or on Pokemon Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu, you can transfer a Pokemon and you'll get a Meltan box that you can open on Pokemon
the
Go.
Meltan box. Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
So in order for me to get through the tasks faster, I did that so that Pokemon had spawned periodically so I could do it.
Oh, I had a sense on.
Yeah, I've not got many left, so I thought, nah, I'm not for that. And then the week before, it was the Magmar Community Day. So I ended up getting 19 shinies out of that, so that wasn't too bad. So yeah, that's my Pokemon Go happenings. Bar that, I've got FIFA 21, so I decided to take the plunge and upgrade from FIFA 20 to 21. The only reason that I did that is because it was 30 quid on Amazon on Prime, and we did well, this is a bit separate, but we did like a duck race at work. So we did like a sweepstake, and my came, so I got a £10 Amazon voucher. So because of that, I thought, oh, 20 quid, I can get an upgrade, and I can upgrade it to the PS5 version when eventually one day I'll get one of them. So I thought, yeah, I'll buy it.
22 comes out.
Yeah, that's it. You can actually only upgrade it to the PS5 version before FIFA 22 comes out, so the race is on. But yeah, I've started a career with my club, Sheffield Wednesday. I'm liking it so far. I'm liking the changes that they've made to the career mode. So they've changed the way that you can simulate games. So you can like set certain tactics. You can like go into the game as well. So if you lose and you think, oh, sod this, I could do better, you can go into the game and play it like midway through simulating.
When you're simulating it, are you watching the match?
No, you're watching like little dots move around the screen and the ball moving, a bit like Football Manager.
Yeah.
So
they've really changed it to make it feel a bit more like Football Manager, which I kind of like. That's how I've always kind of played my FIFA career modes. If I ever do like a manager one, I'll simulate the matches because I really want it just to be like Football Manager.
Just get through it, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that they've made a bit more Football Manager-esque is that you can set up development plans for your players. So on FIFA 20, you got 5 slots, and you can only train your players once a week in using those 5 slots. Now, all of your players get trained, and you can select what your players get trained on, and the training is done once every 2 or 3 days as well. Okay. So there's that to factor in, and they get tired from it as well. So you think, is this player going to train in this way, or we're going to keep them so they got more stamina for later on in the week, for example. So there's a little bit more
for the actual game.
Yeah. So there's a bit more in terms of tactics that come into it. It's the same for the first team and in the development squad as well. So if you've got like some young players you brought through from the scouting network, you can set up like development plans for them as well, which I think is nice because on the old FIFA, unless you wanted to actively train them up, they'd be in purgatory and they'd never really move on at all in terms of the stats. So that's really cool. In terms of the game, it's for 20, but I'm not doing too bad so far. And in terms of graphics, it looks the same as FIFA 20. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of a boost when we get to PS5, if we get to PS5. But yeah, so far I like what they've done with it in terms of the career mode strides, and yeah, looking forward to playing more.
Oh, good.
So, shall we get on to the next bit of our journey?
Good segue. Excellent segue there. So the Video Game Hall of Fame. So this is where we take an in-depth look at a game of high quality or historical importance and induct it into our pantheon of games we feel deserve special recognition. Our inductee this episode was released in 2012 for the PS3, developed by That Game Company and Santa Monica Studio, published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It's Journey.
Yeah. Such a real... Go on.
How could you describe Journey?
Relaxingly beautiful. It's such a relaxing game as you go through it. Like the art style is so unique as well to me. There's certain bits of it that just flow so well as you're going through.
Yes, if you've never played it, so basically it's a sort of, shall I say, platformer / walking simulator.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Closest I can give it. You play as a robed figure who wakes up in the desert, and basically you go on a journey across the desert, and your aim is to reach the summit of a mountain in the distance. And that's pretty much the plot of the game, really.
Yeah.
But it just, it's all about emotions and feelings, isn't it? This game.
Yeah, because I think as you go through, it really depicts the rise and fall of the civilization of the person that you are within the game. And there's also some like mechanical centipede-like enemies that you see through the game. So there's that. There's also a really nice mechanic where when you go on from one like section to another, you can also be joined by other travelers.
Yeah, so you might come across one other individual who's playing the game at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's no prompts or gamer tags or anything like that.
Nope.
It's just
there's no spoken words. You can't communicate. Well, there's that like whistle kind of thing you can do to shout at people.
Yeah, there's the speak.
Yeah.
So there's like it's like a musical note kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's used to manipulate things in the environment to help you progress, basically. Because they have these things with these like red banners, don't they? And they are the things that influence the environment. And there's always flight as well, isn't there? So power. So there's
a form of flight in there.
Yeah, and
it's like levitation. Yeah.
And use these bad things to charge your scarf, so to speak.
Because it gets longer as you get throughout the game.
That's the best way I can describe it, and that's effectively what helps you fly. What I really like about the game is the music, the dynamic music in it. It's composed by a guy called Austin Wintory, and the music it changes based on what you do. Okay. So like when it sort of like is sort of influenced when you do your musical note, with your character. It does like change the music in the background as well.
Yeah,
and it's a very novel way of doing music. Whereas normally you just have like a theme,
a track in the back, and then you can't really control what that evolves into. Yeah,
but it's a much more like organic feel to it, which I just really like, and you don't see. I can't think of many of the games that have had that sort of thing. And interestingly, there's no real checkpoints or saves in this, is there?
You go through like gates to get to other sections.
That's probably about as close as checkpoints.
You do, but I don't. I think I read that you can't. It doesn't save. That you have to do the journey all in one. Okay. I was led to believe. I'm not quite sure. But did you play it all in one?
When I initially played it, I did play it all in one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did it in all one go.
Yeah.
I mean, for anyone who's not played it, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours long, so it's not. You don't have to be sat there for ages doing it.
Yeah.
One thing I like about it is because of the way that it works with, due to the length of it, you can have multiple playthroughs, and the dynamic between you and the people around you can change depending on what playthrough you're on. So if you're going through it the first time, I had somebody that was trying to like show me where some hidden things were, and as I was going through, and then the next time I played it, the dynamic shifted, so I was showing somebody. So I think that's like a really nice shift, because you can go from mentee to mentor, and it just changes the dynamic slightly. But yeah, the thing that shocked me actually is I only had one person on my save, and near like two-thirds of the way through, they left me, and I was a little bit, I'm on my own now. Yeah, that's it. But then, to be honest, at this stage, I didn't really know too much about what was going on, because I'd never really read up on it. I heard about it, and everyone was saying, "Oh, it's a great game. You need to play it." This was about 3 years ago now, but and then it got to the very end when I completed it, and it came up with the person's game attack. Like, what? They're actually real people.
Yeah,
Because I just didn't know, and it was just like such a nice shock. Well, a nice shock. Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. Yeah. What were your thoughts on it, Matt? Because you played it quite recently, and not going into it with too much information. What did you think?
I just had a really good time with it. I think it's I think I really like how they've got like it's a very like subtle co-op game in essence. Like you can play the whole thing on your own. Like I think it's clearly set up like that to be able to do it.
You can turn the online off. So
you can play offline, so you just do it all on your own. But it was so nice because like through my playthrough, I actually went through like 4 different partners. Although a lot of it was I get to a checkpoint and then I had to do something on my PC, or I had to go downstairs maybe, so I had to like leave my guy sitting there for a bit and then I come back and like the other guy's kind of gone, so I'm like, oh, I've got to carry on my own. But anyway, I got to a point. I got to a point where I'd met this other guy, and I might need to ask you guys if you know anything about this. But does everyone's character design the same, like their robe design?
Yeah.
Because this guy that I was playing with, so like I don't know how to best describe the robe. Like it's like a red robe. It's kind of got a. Thanks, Lex. She likes butting in today. So they kind of got like a, I suppose, is it like a gold kind of, I suppose, outline on the bottom?
Yeah, it's got gold trimming on it. Yeah.
Gold trimming on it. Well, this guy had kind of like that, but his towards the bottom was a little bit more detailed. Like it kind of had like spikes kind of on it as well, kind of going up the robe. Because like when you fly, glowing like a and stuff, so you can see that your powers are working.
Yeah.
And his was a lot more designed than mine. I can only assume that he's probably played it more than me, because he was showing me where all like the little, I suppose, upgrades for your scarf and that were as well. He was telling me, oh, go here, here's like stuff you want to pick up, and then he was like pretty much guiding me throughout the entire game, which I was very thankful for, because like there's a bit where you kind of go underwater that was a little, not massively terrifying, but I mean, well, I suppose the main enemies of the game is guiding me through there. But I absolutely loved it. And I'm sure I've had a look online. There's a lot that I've missed that I need to go back in and collect. And on story wise as well, there's bits of story that I didn't pick up.
There's one particular point in the game that just blew me away. Really, this is the point where you go like through a gate that's at the top of a ruin or something.
Yeah.
You're just in this open expanse of golden sand.
Snow. Oh, is it the sand?
Oh, sand.
Oh,
and you just start you sliding down it. And
you start going.
It's got these gates that you can go between, and then you go through like a small cavern bit kind of thing, and you find yourself in some ruins with some pillars, and the camera turns sideways. And you're going parallel to the camera then.
Yeah.
And it's just this gorgeous like golden sand, and you can see the mountain in the background, and it's honestly one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen in a video game. From recent memory, anyway.
I think for that bit, the music really came into its own as well. It just all came together so well in that moment.
And then you turn the corner, and then you do a giant leap, and then the music reaches a climax. There, that was such a good moment. That's my favorite bit of the game.
Yeah. Just moving on to what I thought we were talking about before. When you get to the bit where you're walking through the snow, and you start to slow down. What did you think at this bit when you first played it? Because I thought, I've done something wrong.
Yeah, because the music cuts out, doesn't it? And you see the trudging on the snow. slowly ebbing away.
Yeah.
I thought I was
And then
doing.
just collapse. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh.
I thought
'Cause
I was
I-
doing something wrong at this point as well. Just going off on Nathan's point. Sorry, Mark.
Oh, cool.
The person that I was playing with, when we got to that point, like his scarf was like pretty much like almost like back at the beginning of the game, was just like a little thing.
Yeah.
Why this like long glowing thing still, pretty much. And then as you're kind of going up, I didn't realize it started like the snowstorm starts essentially like blasting through your stuff, and you start like losing it. And I was like, what am I doing? What's going wrong? Like, how can I like stop this from happening? And I kind of slowly started realizing as we continue going up that actually there's something that was meant to happen. This was effect. Like this whole storm's barren you, making this treacherous journey up the snow, and then I didn't know what to think when it started slowing down. Like when you're even just taking like baby steps. I'm like, what's happening? And then the point when you when both of us essentially fell apart and I suppose died in the snow. It's like, oh my god, this is the end of the game.
Honestly, I thought that was the end of the game when that happened.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god,
I thought
what tragic.
We've gone through all this, and that's how we end.
I thought that as well. I thought that's it. I thought it was quite poetic. Like some journeys are never meant to be finished. That's what I took at that point. And then when the cloak figures came, and then you get all like your power back and you fly around, and it's just such a happy ending. Not that kind of happy ending, but anyway. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful ending. It just makes the anguish of the snow bit worth it.
I'll give you a bit of a personal analogy here. This might sound strange to begin with, but I'm going somewhere with it, so bear with me. I'm a massive fan of astronomy, so the whole space, and what I love about space is the vastness of it, and our very small part in it. How we are all just a small little dot in this vastness of nothingness. And that to me, I just find very fascinating, and I like to think that looking at appreciation of the small things. And I think this is the closest a game has managed to influence that sort of feeling as well, because you've got this open expanse of desert or the mountain or whatever. Yeah, you've just got this small little character that you're controlling, and it's just you and the world. And I don't know, there's just something really profound about it, and I just found that quite moving when I was playing it. And then it's just like you're joined by this individual, and it's like life really. So you're joined by one other person. And it's like it's like your life, isn't it? You know,
Are they there for the whole thing, or are they there for a part?
In your relationship, and you're on this journey together through life, aren't you? And I think it's just a really symbolic thing. I don't know, maybe it sounds all soppy and all that, but I just find it quite a moving thing, really.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, it's what games are for us to take things from, to relax us, to make us happy, to make us cry. Yeah, and this game does that. It invokes emotion.
It does.
Oh, certainly.
What's your thoughts about the end? So you reach the summit, and then during the credits, your character or the spirit of your character goes very back to the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Now, on the face of that, you might think, well, that's a bit of a wasted journey, wasn't it? It's just like you just took me back to the very beginning again.
Well, it's not about the destination; it's about the journey.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. So yes, but that's the title. I mean, that's the title of
the
it,
game.
So there you go. So
yeah,
but it's true. I think it's a game that does. That is what it is actually about, isn't it? It is about the journey.
Well, I think the discovery of the whole story about how well, I suppose there's probably quite a few interpretations you could take the story, because I was watching this morning one video about someone's kind of interpretation of the whole thing, about how I think that there's definitely kind of religious undertones to it, about how clearly that this power of whatever it was, I suppose the scarf or the material that came down that gave power to this civilization, who, I mean, how I also interpreted from the story, probably abused the power they received. Because, like, going through the whole story, you kind of see how, there's this scarf that's
Thriving civilization. And...
yeah, so is this power that's come from, say, the gods, maybe, that's come down to the civilization of the white cloaked people. And opening through the story, if you go through each checkpoint, you kind of see each point of what's happened, of kind of like how they, like, it created all things, I think, from how I interpreted this power that's come down. It's created these white cloaked people. It created I suppose the dragon serpent like scarf creatures as well. I'm not sure, and the bits of scarf as well that fly around and do all that stuff. Like, it created them, and then it looked like these people, or the white cloaked ones, used it to create monuments or cities with it. And then I don't know, at some point there was probably an abuse of it. Like, they created the machine ones, the serpent ones in the underwater bits that are potentially just the dragon ones, but obviously the white people, that sounds bad. The white cloaked individuals, I should say, turned into like weapons, and then something happened. It looked like there was a war that happened, because you end up seeing two of them pulling at a scarf that pulls apart and then starts disappearing. It was interesting to find out the whole story of, like, basically a ruined civilization that, I don't know, was given a gift that they abused and then ended up turning upon them. Because you see, like, you find out the little, I suppose, gravestones around the sand and stuff. And then the snow as well, which could have maybe told these were people who tried to go on the journey but just didn't make it, maybe. I mean, there's a potential story there as well. And it looks as though essentially who you're playing as is this, like, little, I suppose, maybe messiah to try and work, I suppose, make that journey through what had happened to this civilization. I don't know. You could probably take numerous things out of the whole game, but it's I think the one thing it does is it makes you think about maybe stuff in real life as well, kind of how we're going.
Well, that's it. I was just going to say it could have parallels with AI in the future. Like, we've been given a gift, and are we going to misuse it, and is it going to destroy us one day?
Well, maybe not even just AI. I mean, you could interpret it for a lot of things, like the energy resources that we've got in this world is running out. You know, what are we going to do about that? Did we abuse it? It's a very thought-provoking game, but one that's beautifully told. I think I loved pretty much every minute of it, like the discovery of it, and like I took quite a few screenshots when I played it yesterday, just like how beautiful the game is. It's so good.
Cool. Well, there we have it.
I just think it's amazing that for a game that only takes 90 minutes to 2 hours, that it can invoke these feelings and opinions.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Has anyone platinumed it?
No, I've not.
No.
I'd like to. I might get one of you guys to come on to see if we can try.
Well, the thing is, I think it's a game that I don't want to play again.
You don't want to go back?
I know that sounds terrible, like I'm doing it a disservice. But what I mean is, I don't think it could have that sort of impact as your first journey on it.
Mm.
It's just something about that first encounter for your 90 minutes, 2 hours, or whatever. And just that emotional feeling it gave you. And I don't think on subsequent playthroughs it would give you that. I mean, I might be wrong, but
No, true.
anyway, there we have it. So, Journey into the Video Game Hall of Fame. So, if you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com, where we post blogs and the Hall of Fame. Also, feel free to follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. We're also on YouTube, where we post this very podcast, and we also do something called Top of the Pod, where we take different aspects of games and then compete against each other in a tournament. And so there we have it. So until next time, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.